What's going on, everyone? It's Bales, and welcome back to another AFL Fantasy team review post round 13. 2 buys down, we got 2 to go. Another solid enough week. 2059, round rank of 5,637. Puts me up 32 spots, up to 363. So knocking on the door of the top 350. Bit of a roller coaster weekend. If people were watching the watch along, that was it was an interesting game. Obviously, I don't think I've ever been so salty when a player's got 163 because I didn't have him VC. But luckily, we had someone come through with the captain. We gained 12 points on the top 100 coaches, so now the gap is 178. So the gap has been between 173 and like about 230 for like the whole season. Once I've got to like 170 odd points, I'll then have a week where I'll lose ground. So no, my luck, I'll lose a little bit of ground on the top 100 this week because that's what it seemed to be. But yeah, hopefully we can just have that week where we push close and we get to close to 100. But still, within less than 180 points, there's still plenty of time. I'm still in a good spot for top 100. So yeah, here's hoping we can get ourselves a hat this year. But yeah, so +3, -3. Well, and team value, by the way, is looking decent enough as well. It took a bit of a hit with a few of the -3s, which we'll go to. But +3, got to go to Big Max for his 148. Obviously, I talked about 163 Sam Flanders. Didn't have VC, went Marshall instead, trying to try and get that advantage with that matchup against Moyle. And Marshall didn't really have his own way. So I was like, had obviously 107, I could have taken it, but I thought I had to take it on with Flanders and then Goulden going big. I thought I can't take a 107. So I went to Big Max and I was just like, if I can get a 110, 120, okay, I'll lose 40 points and I haven't lost much. The fact that he went 148 and almost beat his season highs is incredible. So I only lost the 15 points on people that had Sam Flanders captain. So really happy with that. Third highest score of the round. I was able to have that as captain. So very, very happy with Big Max. He did more than what I could have hoped for. So yeah, he saved me. I should have gone Flanders VC like I had most of the week and I changed. I shouldn't have changed. I did say I got to back my own judgment. And captains this year, I haven't quite backed it in. I've looked at other people's top lists and stuff. I've got to start backing myself in with captains. Funny enough, I'll probably do that and then I'll probably fail. But yeah, so he gets the +3. -3, probably a little bit of a joint one in a way. Riley Bonner is the main guy that gets it, but Wilson can also get it a bit as well because I decided to trade Dempsey and Sharp instead and keep Wilson and Bonner trying to get a ceiling score from one of the two because obviously they've put up some decent scores with the hope that I could hold one of them this week and then one of them could go around 15. But after the way they performed with the 30s, I don't know if I can. Like, Bonner's got a break even of 141, so he has to go. There's not even a question about whether I hold him or not. It's just simple as he has to go because he's going to drop below 700k next week. Just got to trade him. Wilson's the interesting one where I might have to hold him for this week because I might need him as the extra number. But there is a chance I just trade him and just have one less player. I'm not sure. That'll be something I have to work through with trades, but they both get it. Both were poor. I know Gold Coast pretty much played keepings off, really, with Flanders and Sexton and guys like that going nuts in the whole back line. I was hoping for a bit more than a 30. That was probably the worst possible result because Wilson lost a fair chunk of cash as well. Yeah, 38k. Bonner lost 56. I lost almost 100k from that. So, which is unfortunate. And I could have had Sharp this week and next week. But it is what it is. We need to move. We need to try and fix some things there. So let's go through the players as we always do. But before we do, as always, if you are enjoying the content, make sure you do smash a thumbs up on the video. You guys have got the 100 likes last few team views, which has been fantastic. So I thought we'd up the goal a little bit this week. If we can get to 150 on the team view, that'd be fantastic. Maybe not. I don't know if we can, just because it is a shorter week. So this maybe not as many people tune into the reviews because it's a shorter week. But if you are tuning in, smash thumbs up in the video. We normally get about 1,000. So what? That's what? I don't even know what the percentage would be. Well, yeah, no, 15 people for every 100. Yeah, 15 people for every 100 just to like it. So, yeah, make sure you smash the thumbs up. And also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We passed 2,500. We're less than 90 away now from 2,500, which was one of the halfway goal by the end of the year. So we're nearly there. So if you can subscribe, make sure you do. Obviously, the big goal's 3K before the end of the season. I'll probably say year technically, but make sure you get around it. So let's go to the players. So Nick Dacos, poor score with the 62. He did get a really hard take from Neil Bullen, and he copped I don't even know what it was. It was a leg injury. Look, there's reported as a calf cork. Looked like he just hit him on the shin. I'm not sure. He said post-game he's fine. It was precautionary. He was going to run it out, and because the game was in hand for Collingwood just said, nah, come off, and we're not going to risk him. So no real issues. Like, yeah, he dropped a bit of money. His break-even's going to be up there now as well, like probably over 130. Yeah, 147, but yeah, I'm not too worried. Everyone has got Dacos at this point pretty much, so yeah, I'm not worried with him. Nick Martin was good. Moved forward, which was interesting, but scored the 120 and was fantastic. Was just everywhere. So it doesn't really matter, really. He's showing he's a bit like Harry Shees. It doesn't really matter what role he gets. He can just score. So I'm not really worried about where he plays. He's just going to find the pill. And his kicking wasn't great, but that's all good. It doesn't matter about disposal efficiency. As long as he's getting the points, that's all we matters for us. Lockie Whitfield, surprisingly, 123 was a good score from him. Bit nervous with his next 2 games. He's got the Jed McEntee potential tag this week, and then going into the James Jordan tag. So a bit nervous with Whitfield for the next couple of weeks, but I can't trade him. I've got other priorities to do, which is I probably would have, if I was in a really good position, I would have liked to have traded Whitfield potentially this week. But 123, I'll hold him and hopefully he can put up a couple of 80s. I'll take a couple of 80s to be fair. Bonner can go. He's still been a good pick. It's just undoing a bit of the work now with 3 really bad scores. You never know, might even be dropped this week. So, but we've said that for a few weeks. So, but yeah, really poor. Alex Sexton, obviously Flanders went big. Sexton also went massive. 130. I think he's a top 6 forward. I think it's as simple as that. I think Will Power comes back in, but I just think Sexton's playing a good enough role for Gold Coast that I can't see the role changing. And yeah, he's looking really, really good. He's averaging, over 90 now for the year as well. So break even still 39. He's up to 740k. So even if he's not, he's at a great price that we can sideways him to another forward that we're going to be potentially comfortable with. But I don't think we're going to. I think he's going to be here for a fair while. So, yep, been very happy with Sexton. Sam Closey, 55. Obviously not amazing. Dropped a little bit in price this week. 15k, break even 87. There is a chance I need to hold him this week and maybe just deal with a few of the guys that are on bye that I can get to other players. So, Closey could stay. He's my D7 at the moment, though, so it might just be a case of hold him this week, play him the following week to cover it like a Nick Dacos who's on bye, and then we can trade him out post the bye. So that might be what I do. Obviously, could be good to get Luke Ryan back in the team this week. Reed obviously didn't play as well. Jordan Dawson was really, really good on Thursday. One of the only couple of shining lights for the Crows. He performed really, really well. 124. He's obviously got Sydney this week. I would anticipate that James Jordan tries to go with Dawson. I think it's going to be a bit tougher for Jordan to go with Jordan Dawson, because just of how good a contested mark Dawson is, he can go forward if he's getting tagged. I'm worried that there could be a lower score this week. If Rankin comes back in, there's a chance Jordan tags Rankin, potentially. So, so Dawson, I'm not expecting a big score. If he can get a 90, I'd be pretty happy with that this week. Errol was fantastic, 151. I did say on the Friday pre-lockout chat we had, I was like, it's only a matter of time, and I think could potentially be even this week that Goulden goes 130 plus, and boy, did he. He looked very, very good. That goal he kicked at the end, though, Errol's just one of my favourite players to watch, and I'll be able to watch him live in person this Saturday night, even though it's not really going to be under the best circumstances because the Crows doing quite poorly. So his teammate Isaac Heaney was also very good with a 108. Just keeps getting it done. Bont, 93, was pretty solid. Got a really, really hard tag from Berry for the whole night, and he kicked 3 goals. Looked pretty decent as well. So he does have a really tough run, though. I think post his bye. Like, I think he's got North post his bye. Freris had done about tagging him this week as well. Then he's got North, but then he goes into Port. That's a potential Willem Drew. I think Willem Drew's the guy that would go to him. He's done it a couple of times in the past. Carlton, Chincotta, whether Chincotta can actually go with him, I think Chincotta might be a little bit too small for Bont. Maybe they put a Hewitt onto him. Then he goes into probably a Blitzarves tab. But then again, he actually went quite well against Geelong early with a 149 at Gather Round. And then Sydney, whether James Jordan goes to him then or if he goes to another player again. A few tougher games coming up for Bont, but whether I can get rid of him, I think he's just a solid player anyway, so we'll see how we go. But Bont, solid enough. Jack Steele's been really up and down, bit frustrating. He's only had 2 good scores since, since round 5. Obviously, he started the year obviously on fire. From round 6 onwards, he's only had 2 scores over 110, being in round 9 and round 11. He's had a multitude of scores in the 70s and the 80s. This game was very chip mark, and he didn't really get involved. He still got tackles. He still had a decent amount of disposals. His run for the first couple here are a bit tougher, but then again, that could suit him with a lot of tackles. But then after that, it opens up a bit more for the rest of the season. I'm probably not going to trade him, but if I do decide to get rid of a Steele, a Bont, or a Dawson next week, won't be Dawson, then because I'm obviously all 3 on bye, he could be Steele. But at the moment, I'll be holding him through. I don't think he's a high priority. Clayton Oliver, though, he's been obviously disappointing now. He does head north after the bye, but he's got Brisbane. It just shows that pre-seasons are so important for players, because obviously he didn't have much of a pre-season. Came back underdone. We saw with Sam Walsh last year, never really got going during the season. In the finals, yes, he played well, but we need Oliver now to be putting up these scores, and I just don't think they're going to be coming. So for me, I think Oliver is a trade now. Obviously, he's on his bye. Whether I can make it work with a few other things I need to fix up, I'm not sure. But Oliver, I think if you can, I think he's a trade out. Darcy Wilson, 34, is also probably a trade out as well. I might have to hold 1 week, though, but I would be trading if you can. Jai Clark as well, 61. Was solid in the third quarter. Had a really good quarter as well. Only 58% game time. I think he had 2 stints on the bench, well, like around the 15 minutes on the bench. So don't really get why Geelong keep doing that with him. But 61 I'll take. I thought he was going to be definitely one of my bottom 4 scorers, and he ended up turning out not to be. So Caden McAuliffe obviously was able to loop him. Obviously was a sub, came on. Looked pretty decent. Presti was out, so you'd think that maybe McAuliffe does come into the 22 and plays a full game. Hopefully he does, because I'm probably going to need him in this week. Caleb Sarong will be good to also get him back in this week. Gorn we spoke about, massive. He's absolutely killing it. What is that? Averaging 121.4 from 13 games on bye this week. He's just an absolute machine. Like, he's a few tougher games. Cherry into like McInerney, but it doesn't really matter. He just gets it done. He's just so good. And thanks to Collingwood as well. They actually kicked the ball to him a fair bit today, so I'll thank them for that. Ryan Marshall, 107. That was mostly done in 2 quarters as well. I think he only had about 20-odd points in the first and last quarter combined. It was those middle 2 quarters he really got going. I thought at one stage that he was going to get quite close to Flanders and I was going to be able to take this score. But thankfully, he got the 107, because if he got the 110, I probably would have taken it, which meant I would have missed out on the Gordon 148. So happy with the 107. Ticked over the 100 there. Barnett obviously doesn't play. Zorko, 96, was solid enough. Dogs haven't actually been that easy for defenders this year. There's only been a few players that have gone big. So, but yeah, Zorko, very, very happy enough. But I'm happy I've got him, because he now goes into St Kilda. Based on the matchup, you would think that a ceiling scores on the cards. Who no doubtedly be my VC this week. So hopefully he can put up a good score and we can take it, and then it'll be good. But he is under the $1 million now as well. Flanders is nearly the same price as Zorko, was essentially the same price as Zorko now with a 163. He was obviously massive. I think Zorko's now averaging less than Flanders as well. So Flanders is now the number 1 defender based on that game. So yeah, just getting it done. He's been fantastic in this defensive role. Zach Fisher, now that's is that 5 tons in a row now as well? 5 tons in a row. The last 3 have all been over 112. So yep, getting it done. He did have that. Apparently, was cramping at the end of the game, so not too worried about that. Collingwood is a really good matchup for defenders, so I expect Fisher to have a strong score this week. Then he goes into Melbourne, who also give up points, and then he goes into Dogs, who you normally think are good, but he is at Marvel. So yeah, the next 4 weeks for him should be pretty good. I'm just happy he's in over 800k now, and yeah, he's a top 6 defender, simple as that. Tom Powell, 70. I thought he looked good in the first half, got amongst it, but then just played mostly forward in the second half and only scored, I think he was on 43, so only 27 points after half time is disappointing. So post the buys, I'll be able to upgrade him to a full that I want to bring in. Fraser only 40, not a huge score, but He's a rookie, so it is what it is. Obviously, Richards didn't play, which is a bit of a shame. That it would have been really handy to use him over these last 2 weeks, but hopefully he comes back into the team post the bye. Billy Dowling was very, very impressive on his debut, both as a fantasy coach and a Crows fan. I was really happy with Dowling's game. 89. Only had the one poor quarter, I think, is in the second quarter, but the other few quarters were big, especially that last quarter where he had over 40 points. He is he's just a ball magnet. So really he's going to get it wherever he goes. So yeah, hopefully he can put up another strong score this week. It is a tough matchup, but yeah, Billy was very, very good. Guesty obviously didn't play and be really good if he'd come into the team this week. And then Hayden Young obviously on bye. So that was the team again in round 13. So solid enough. Solid. So obviously I'm just hoping that we can have another strong week, get closer to the top 100 and hopefully go under 150 points the first time this year to the top 100 and really push. I think team's in a decent spot. I've still got to fix up. So technically Fraser /Richard /Dowling is my F6. So I've got to fix that up next week. I'm looking at putting Heaney back and going to a merit. And then I've got to also fix obviously Wilson and Bonner. So my trades this week, normally I go through them, but I really don't know what my trades are at this stage. I've obviously got to get an upgrade, so I'm looking at a few guys. I'm looking maybe getting a Sheasel back. I'm looking at Dunkley, Butters, even an LDU because he's cheap. I'm looking at guys like that. So I'm not, because Tom Green was the guy I was going to be bringing in this week, but I don't think I can bring in Tom Green after the way he's been performing. I need to see something. I can't bring in Rosie yet. I think it's a bit too early. So I've got to maybe get a bit creative. Maybe Simpkin comes in after a strong game for F6 and sits there. So few things to work out. So hopefully I'll have my trades potentially for you guys tomorrow on Trade Talk, obviously because it's a shorter week. So this is on Tuesday, Trade Talk Wednesday. So yeah, hopefully I've had a look by then. I can go give you guys an answer on trades. But yeah, let me know in the comments below how you guys went in round 13. Put in your score, overall rank, your round rank, +3, -3, and what your rage trades are. If you've got any questions, I will get to them this week. Apologies, I missed them all last week. It was a busy week, and I felt under the weather towards the end of the week, so just didn't get round to them, unfortunately. But yeah, I'll get to all your questions. And also, if you'd like to leave a question, ask me on q.com/AFL Fantasy Fanatics. Get your questions in there. You get a personalised audio response to your question, helping all your team-dependent questions and stuff. And you can put your whole team in there. There's different categories and stuff are sort of tailor-made to your question. So, yeah, make sure you guys get around that. Small fee, but it does help support the channel and also helps give you a more in-depth response than what I can give you in the YouTube comments or if you just commented anywhere, I can actually give you more of an in-depth response. So, yeah, but yeah, make sure you smash a like on the video. 150 likes is a goal. If we can hit that, that'd be fantastic. And also make sure you do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, obviously, we'll be live tonight. When you see this, we'll be live tonight with our normal Q&A. So if you want to get your questions answered there as well, get your questions in there. We'll be answering those. So make sure you tune to that. And Trade Talks, obviously, tomorrow. So we'll catch you for those two. So thanks, guys, for tuning in. And I'll see you guys in the next one. So I'm out. Cheers.